I had earlier expressed concern that my tapping on the phone screen was being roboticized. But the consequence of recording and talking about that is that now I've opened up the door for them to get themselves inserted into the videos by causing me to hear sounds, causing me to see something, causing me to feel something that would make me want to get on make the video to say, help, I think this or that is happening, I'm being frauded on by this or that sound and sight. But by saying that, I'm letting them get into this conversation. So what I have to do is stop video recording. What I think the problem is, I'll just say this, I'm just going to trust God with it. So the next feel that I have, or if I see or hear something, I'm not going to let it get into these videos. I have to do my part to keep fraud out, and then I just have to trust God and Teriak with the rest. There's only so much anybody can do, and they know how to burden your life so that all you're doing all day is protecting yourself from fraud and you're not getting any other work done. And that's done on purpose. So we're not going to let that happen. God is on the throne, God is in control, and so is Teriak, and so is John. I had some other things to say, and I'm just making notes during the day. All what I hear to say, so then that means that I believe Teriak has told me to say this, that the alt-right, the alternate right, with reference to the GOP, the Republican Party, the alt-right, that is actually code for Medici. And then I had written something else. Oh, I'm getting out of order. I have to go back. Not letting fraud in by not reporting anything I've seen or heard that is odd and makes me think fraud is happening. Now the door is open for my silence on those things to be frauded on as code and as acceptance. They could say, well, she hasn't reported it. That means she allows us to talk to her and get into the conversation this way. No. But you have to resist being led around by the nose on all these things. So again, my silence on a site, or because they will set up witnesses, somebody will witness that I did indeed hear or see that because they did. And then the fraud is that by not saying no to it, I'm letting it in. But the problem is, as I've already stated, saying no to it here in this video actually lets them in. And even in your non-video life, you think you have to get fraud off of you by, I don't know, doing an action that equals a cutoff or a no to the sight or sound that was put on you. Well, any action you take is flipped by the fraudster, and it's given a meaning. I think there's an accusation about me that I'm a security problem because I don't actively do things to get a fraud off me. Like you could do, I'm not even going to get into it about all the gesturing and the words and the facial expressions and tones that you can use to disallow someone's words or gestures on you. I'm not going to go down that. There's just tons. But anything you do can be flipped against you. And I challenge a test of these things. Whatever it is that you think is a valid, efficient, efficacious method of getting a fraud off of you by negating it with a word or a gesture, try it. See what happens. What's going to happen is that you're going to find yourself in conversation with that person anyway, because they took your gesture or your word or your tone and they repurposed and reminted it to be something useful for themselves. So my basic method is to just simply not react at all when someone pretends to talk to me, or when they fraud on me with a look or a tone or a word or a gesture. I pretend not to notice, and that's what I'm calling non-reaction. And I just go about my business, whatever I'm doing. I believe that's more efficacious as far as getting fraud off of you than any other method, and I challenge you to test that out. I think the controlling factor here is patience. When you see someone frauding on you, you immediately want to do something. You want to snip it off with a word or a look or a gesture. My method takes more patience. It can take a week or a month or a year of non-reaction. But in the end, I win. And so I would just challenge you to do the same. I think your life will be safer. I think I am not any security risk. I think people that try to cut fraud off of themselves quickly in the moment with a word or a gesture, I think those people are the security problems, not me. And I challenge you to test it out.